I mean, do I just wing this? I think I just wing this, right? Hello, I'm going to have a go making cosplay. Well, basically, after watching many hours of YouTube videos, I've gathered the equipment I think I should need to get at least a start. I wanted to try and make a little documentation of my journey from zero experience to final product, should I get there, because I'm incredibly good at procrastinating. And that's why I've decided to start on a video today. It's almost like a dare to myself that I've got to see it through. Today, I want to walk through the equipment that I've picked up, going through all the tutorials and videos I've seen online. This seems to be the equipment, the essentials. Stuff. I mean, do I need to do this in any particular order? I think I'm just going to grab whatever I grab. This thing. Bang. Glue. The term I hear in the videos, contact adhesive. Glue gun is an option. I know I've got one somewhere, I didn't bring it down. I thought I'd try this first as an easier option. Fat stack of duct tape. There's one thing this is for, is to make a cast of my arm. So the other thing that I don't have in the box because it's in the kitchen is cling film. So where I'm starting with my cosplay, my first project is a bracer. It seems like a nice, easy, simple one to start on, and it works for what I want to make is the forearm. I do have some warbler. I actually don't think I'm going to be using this. It's basically a thermoplastic, so you heat it and then you can kind of mold it into shape, allow it to cool, and it should hold itself. It ends up with a bit more of a solid, robust finish. Not so flexible, but of course will hold its shape really well. It sounds like it comes out a bit heavier. I want my cosplay to be as light and flexible as possible, and something that comes out stiff and slightly heavier just doesn't seem like the option for me. I have some cheap, simple craft foam, no statistics to it, there's no specifications for it. It was just craft foam. I think it's like 1.6 mil, super thin. This was kind of my demo test one. I was just going to rip this to shreds just to make a start, just so I'm not wasting the good stuff. Ah yes, to go with the cutting board, a knife. Again, I bought this first, just a very small, specific stencil knife, I guess I'd call it. But I realised after buying this that maybe I need something bigger as well. This might still come in handy for more specific, smaller details, but I needed a bigger one as well. A big proper Stanley blade. You know, a much sturdy metal finish on a blade like this. Rather than buying a £2 plastic one that's probably going to fall apart and wobble, I went for a decent one. Bosch. One of these bad boys. A heat gun. From what I've seen as well and watched is to do it with the foam as well. It helps loosen up the foam to help you bend into place and craft the foam as well. So once you lay out your flat stencil cutout from your mould, you can then heat it and bend it the way you want it to. Again, not done any of this before, not used or tested any of this equipment. This is just from what I've watched. Here's the big one. EVA foam. I'm not sure what the EVA means or stands for, but again, all these videos I watched, they call it high density EVA foam. Also got my drink on standby, stay hydrated. So I got 4 sheets of foam. I've got 2 smaller sheets of the high density, 2 and 3 mil, and I believe I did the same for the lower density, but a bigger sheet is a bit cheaper. Already, if you look down the side where the cuts are, you could see more of those kind of bubbles and imperfections in the side of the foam there. You can see on that high density, super clean cut down the side. There's no bubbles in there whatsoever. Oh yeah, so 2 other bits that coming through at a later time, don't really need them quite yet. Flexi filler, almost like a kind of clay, waxy kind of foam. Sticking 2 bits of foam together like that, and maybe there, as you can see, the seam. You can cover the seam up with flexi filler. Go down the seam, smooth out that surface. So that's kind of a last touch finish. But I thought I'd get invested in that. And Plasti Dip. Plasti Dip, another one that comes up a lot. Again, is kind of the finishing touch of the project, the painting. A primer for the foam, really smooth surface to paint over rather than it absorbing into the foam and causing imperfections. So now that I've got all my gear, where I'm going to start is with the cling film and the duct tape. I'm going to be making that cast out of my arm, getting cling film all the way up, duct taping that, cut myself back out, flatten that out, probably onto some plain paper. Probably going to need A3 paper, same size as my board, and put those pieces to one side as a template, so that I have measurements of my arm ready that I can replicate and cut out of different foam. Of course, if I did the cast straight onto foam and then tried to craft with it and it go wrong, I then have to do the whole casting again. So I want to keep a template to one side, just in paper, that I can retrace and retrace and retrace as many times as I want. So, for those of you asking what my cosplay project is, I'm starting with as usual, in true Harry fashion, a overly ambitious project. I'm going for a Winter Soldier arm. I can already see many complications in getting this to work, as well as making sure it's flexible and comfortable. I've got a few ideas to try, but it's a case of just building a few prototypes and seeing how those go. As someone who's got a wraparound tattoo on their arm, I know how difficult it can be to get a flat design to shape around an arm. It's not a perfect cylinder. The designs can go all wonky. I'm going to have to just try a few things, see how they work, see what works, see what doesn't, and adjust things from there. It's going to take a good few attempts. If you do want to see me frustratingly fail to produce the quality I desire, hit a follow, hit a subscribe. If it helps get you excited about it, and in turn encourages me to be excited about getting to work, I'm going to maybe, if this does work out as well as I hope, look at even producing LEDs into this project. Having the whole thing light up way more than it does in any of the Marvel content out there. If you want to nag me, if you want to ask me how well it's going and give me some encouragement and to actually get on with this project, feel free. Just drop me a message, drop a comment, because maybe that'll actually make me do some work. Peace out.